In the 1990s, comedian Anthony Griffith had a career on the rise, performing on The Tonight Show, booking tours across the country, and even appearing on Star Search.
Thank you very much. I'm extremely happy. I recently had a baby girl not too long ago.
But while Anthony's job was making people laugh, at home, he and his wife, Bridget, were dealing with a challenge far more serious. Their baby daughter, Brittany, who was born with Down syndrome, developed acute leukemia.
The most precious, precious spirit walking this face of the earth. So we just loved her as normal.
Brittany died at just 3 years old, and it was hard for Anthony, the funny guy, to talk about their loss until a 2012 performance.
But at night, I still have to be a comic. I have to work on The Tonight Show because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm a clown, and I have to come out and make you laugh because no one wants to hear the clown in pain because that's not funny.
And today, almost 30 years later, despite his current battle with multiple sclerosis, Anthony is able to find laughter again.
Every mall I go to, I see at least one child begging their parents for gym shoes. Come on, mama, I want to be like Shaq. Well, until you bring home $100 million like that, I'm taking you to pay less.
And together, he and Bridget want to share their story to spread a message of hope.
First of all, tomorrow's not promised. So if you love someone, let them know that, hey, you were my spirit today. Just want to say I love you.
Anthony and Bridget telling their story in their new book. It's called Behind the Laughter, a comedian's tale of tragedy and hope. Good morning to both of you.
Thank you.
Hello, you guys.
Thank you.
I know you've been dealing with MS since '94, I believe. You're not letting it hold you back, but how are you today? How are you feeling?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. You know, at times I have moments with her.
Oh, it's my fault, right?
She says I get to blame MS a lot. Like if I forget to empty the garbage, I'll say, it's my MS. Or if she catches me watching TV, watching a woman on TV, I go, it's my MS. It's not me. It's my MS.
You can't argue with that. You can't argue. I'll leave that alone.
Take me back really quickly to the early 90s. Your job, as you talked about, was to make people laugh, and you were pursuing your dream, but then you were watching your daughter lose her battle. How were you able to still go out on stage and do that? There are a lot of people who try to compartmentalize when they have a job and they have grief. How are you able to do that?
I think that you hit the B. I had to compartmentalize to really to do that. I had to succeed on focusing on my job of making people laugh, and we would do that at night. I would go to every club to hone my craft, and during the day we would learn CPR and things like that.
Wow. Two lives.
Two lives.
And after her sad death, you still need to go on, but you describe it as a zombie state that lasted for several years. I mean, many years. How did you get through that, and were you dealing with it the same way?
And you know, interestingly, we were not dealing with it the same way. We had different perspectives on life. My prism of how to problem solve and deal with things was naturally different than his because of the way we were raised. And I was living in a level of solitude, I thought. And Anthony, his perspective was different because he had to go out on stage and work. So it was an interesting transition, those zombie years. You look back on it and you go, wow, 8 or 9 years. How did we get out of it? But we did.
How did you learn to support each other in this? Because obviously what Anthony needed to do was go out and be the funny guy, keep the face on. You were back at home and doing what you had to do. How did you support each other for this?
Yeah, the support, I think it was really important because our core values were very, very important. And humor. Hello, humor.
She's the funniest to me. She's the funniest.
Am I really? Yes. Okay. You've heard it on national television. I'm the funniest.
You can't take it back now.
No,
You've got proof.
It's solidified. But yeah, the humor was very important in our core values, and being able to kind of articulate our emotions out loud. We've learned to do that consistently. So before that wasn't that wasn't something that we had under our tool belt.
You had to learn to do it.
We had to learn to do it, yeah.
You honored your daughter's legacy
Yes.
by becoming a therapist as well, as I understand it.
Look at there.
Yeah.
That was another trajectory that was very, very gradual. And I started to take up things that interested me. So the next thing I know, I look up 10 years later and, hello, doctor. Doctor.
See, it's funny. You're right. Yeah, some of it rubbed off.
You're gonna bring her on tour.
Yes,
Thank you both.
yeah,
Thank you both for sharing your story.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Keep us posted as well.
We shall.
Check in with us. For more information on the book, by the way, Behind the Laughter, you can head to today.com/shop.